Hello, everybody. We have two new Diddy filings. Number one filing that we have that's new, it's at docket number 76, and it is the court clarifying what we didn't exactly know yesterday, which is yes, the prosecutors on the case have been ordered to destroy copies of certain notes that they took pictures of during a prison sweep. Well, the filter team, though, and that was called the taint team, the filter team still gets to retain a copy of it. And it's going to end up being very important because the very next filing, docket number 77, is astounding. Here it is right here. It's literally one page and it is an order from the judge. The judge writes two very short, very clear paragraphs. And he says in Mark Agnifalo's letter to the court from yesterday, Mark Agnifalo said, quote, a government investigator took photographs of several items, including intact pages from two different legal pads. And Agnifalo also provided some ripped out pages of other legal pads. The letter also described the legal pads in detail and argued that they were privileged, right? Remember, we read it just yesterday. Mark Agnifalo is arguing these letters are privileged, in part because on top of the legal pads and notes, Diddy had a folder that was marked legal, which put anyone on notice that everything along with the folder marked legal is attorney-client material. At the November 19th hearing, Agnifalo presented the court with an intact legal pad. Remember, we watched this live, and I was like, oh, y'all, this is not good. If the notebook says legal on it, like, oh, it kind of gets harder for the government to say that they didn't interfere with his lawyer-client confidential communications, et cetera, et cetera. The judge said Agnifalo presented the court with an intact legal pad with legal written on the binding. Mark Agnifalo stated the legal label on this and other pads showed that they were clearly protected by attorney-client privilege. And y'all remember, don't forget, the judge made a decision of sorts based off of this representation by Mark Agnifalo. So Mark Agnifalo has his the actual folder in his hands, right? And he's like, look, Your Honor, it says legal. And then the judge made a decision. The judge ordered the prosecutors to destroy those notes. The judge said he would not even consider those notes in Friday's bail hearing. And so, yeah, the judge did take it very seriously that Mark Agnifalo was presenting to him that the government was in possession of legal materials. If you're having trouble understanding that, I did do an hour and 40-minute live stream yesterday. You should go watch that. But then the judge starts the second paragraph. He says, the court notes that the sealed exhibit to government's brief at docket 72-1. Okay, so the government offered their exhibits, right? We didn't see it, Exhibit A, it's sealed, but the court can obviously see it, the judge, and the judge says, hold on. The government's exhibit that they actually provided, it doesn't say legal. It doesn't say legal on there. It includes pictures of two intact legal pads taken at the time of the BOP sweep. There is no writing on the binding of either pad. I think what he's talking about, I don't have a legal pad on me, but you know those legal pads that are bound up at the top and it's like a paper binding up there at the top that's kind of glued together, but then there's like a extra piece of like waxy paper up at the top. I think Diddy had wrote legal on the top of there. But on the exhibits, the actual pictures that the government actually has, it doesn't say that on the pad. It doesn't say legal on there. And if you remember during the live stream yesterday, if you were here, one of the things that Inner City Press reported that the prosecutor said was, yeah, Your Honor, that might say legal on it today, but we don't know when he wrote that on there. Remember? So the judge says, at the scheduled hearing on Friday, November 22nd, that's coming this Friday, that's the day after tomorrow, Diddy's actual bail hearing, Diddy's lawyer, it says defense counsel, that's Diddy's lawyer, should be prepared to give the court further context on the legal label that the court was presented with at the November 19th hearing. And Mark Agnifalo best be prepared to address why this label doesn't appear on the photographs in the court's possession and why it wasn't addressed in Diddy's submission to the court made just a few hours before the November 19th hearing. Now, this is really alarming to me because this order right here, it's an order. It's an order ordering Diddy's lawyers to be prepared to answer these questions. Okay. Because the order immediately before this, I mean, they might have hit the docket within a few minutes, a few hours, could have been the same time. When I logged in, I saw that these both had been updated today, uploaded today. So the judge already ordered the prosecutors to destroy the pictures, the files that they have. But he ordered that based on, in part, Mark Agnifilo saying that the legal pad said legal on them. Okay. Now, I don't know why. I expect Mark Agnifilo to try and explain himself by saying everyone knows a legal pad is called a legal pad. So they should have known anything in the legal pad is legal. If he tries that argument, I think he should be disbarred. I mean, that's like the stupidest thing I ever heard. Stupid. But yeah, y'all, Mark Agnifilo presented the judge yesterday in court with a notebook that said legal on it too. And he's like, Your Honor, these say legal on them. And the judge stopped the hearing. Whoa, hold on. The notebooks say legal on them? Let me see. Mark Agnifilo brings it up to the judge, hands it off to him. The judge looks at it and then makes an order for the prosecutors to destroy that evidence. Now, there is a hearing. Let me pull up that other order real quick, just because this is the docket number 76 and docket number 77 video here. Okay, here's the document, another order. This is docket number 76, the one that came online just before the one we just looked at, where it's like, you need to tell me about that legal. For the reasons stated at the hearing on November 19th, the government, with the exception of the filter team, must immediately delete the photograph notes at issue, pending the court's ruling on whether they are covered by attorney-client privilege, okay? So it is going to just depend on a hearing, okay? The government should confirm by tomorrow that the notes have been deleted based on the government's representation that the filter team has no involvement in either the grand jury investigation or this litigation. The filter team may retain copies of the photograph notes, but may not provide them to anyone else. Briefing on the defendant's application relating to these notes will follow in this schedule. Okay, so here's the briefing schedule. Diddy's brief has to be filed by December 4th, the government's response by December 9th, and then Diddy can reply to the response by December 11th. The briefs should include citations to the best cases supporting or refuting the requested relief. Finally, Diddy's reply brief on his renewed motion for bail is now due tomorrow. So he's going to be able to do a reply brief for his motion for bail. The thing about this legal versus not legal like designation is so far from the looks of it to me, and in my opinion, I mean, I don't know because I wasn't actually in the courtroom, we were just reading live tweets. It seems like this might be something that Agnifilo would be more in trouble for than Diddy. Like, I think the judge may take it more out on Agnifilo and be like, don't, let this happen a freaking again. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty huge bombshell yesterday that they told us that the government took pictures of somebody's notebook that said legal all over it. Well, apparently the government did no such thing because the pictures that the government has possession of do not say legal on the binding. Just wanted to keep y'all updated. That was docket number 76 and 77. That's all I really had for right now. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation, and neither is reading the public docket, girl. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.